Good evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? Or let me rephrase that. Uh, welcome, members of Spiritual and DD Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. For those tuning in over stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, I'm your host, Dave Cias. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. As for me, Um, doing a little bit better. Yesterday I couldn't do a live because I wasn't feeling well. It's about a week of pure allergies, out of control here in Central Texas. A lot of cedar and I guess mold, which has been causing me to be sick. I don't think I've had allergies that bad like I've had this past week. I don't know how I managed to make some of the videos that I did. I think one of them I rarely spoke, which was the one we did on last Thursday, open mic night. But here I am. Yesterday I didn't one because I was really sick yesterday. But I'm feeling somewhat better today. Let me see who we got here. Let's see one person there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share out these videos, share out this live feed to the groups that allow me to share on Facebook real quick. There we are, brothers and sisters. We are all shared out here on Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. So, how's everybody doing this evening? Uh, yeah, this allergies that I've had for about a week now. Uh, I'm not just having the allergies. I'm having other things happening to me that trying to figure out what's going on. Besides the allergies, pains. I've been having a lot of pains on my right side of my body. Could deal with the allergies. Stiffness of the neck, where I couldn't even turn my neck. You know, when you're in the military, I spent 10 years in the military. I was a couple of couple of accidents in the military as a tanker. One of the accidents that I had was when I was 19. Was in Germany. We were going to the M16 range. We were in the back of a deuce and a half, and I'm by the very edge of the deuce and a half in the back. Of course, there's no seat belts, and the driver, there was a little boy that chased the ball into the street, and the driver hit the brakes of the deuce and a half, and I went flying, and I hit the, the steel of the deuce and a half in the back with my Kevlar on and everything, but it hurt my neck. Uh, they had to take me to the doctor because I had a concussion. But to the hospital, the only problem is the hospital was like 45 minutes away. So I remember Well, I'm going to share this story with y'all. Staff Sergeant Rutherford, that's what his name was. It was talking to me, but I couldn't. I was in a daze because of the concussion. Uh, Staff Sergeant Rutherford, he said, "Hey, look," he pulled a bottle of liquor from underneath his seat. He said, "Here, drink some." He drank some. Drink some. It'll make you feel better. And I was like, still in a daze, and it's like, no, I'm good. He drank all the way over there, man. Uh, I got over there, and they checked me out. They said that I was good, nothing serious and all this. But I was still in the daze. And then I was in another accident, but this other accident, the first accident happened in Germany. The second accident happened in that was like in 90 and like in 92. I flew out of a tank in Fort Ord, California. At That's where we go training. I went into a wadi, which is like a 20-foot drop, crack in the earth, and I flew out of the tank, but I grabbed the handles. My feet were up in the air because when we dropped, we hit the the metal handles where we mount the 240 machine gun, where the loaders is because I was a loader at the time. That almost went up my gut. Then we bounced again, and I went in like a dart, and I hit the breech, which is the main gun round breech, and I got knocked out. Uh, I don't remember nothing. The CVC, which is communications, we communicate with each other in the tank. It was the shell was all shattered on it. The medics got lost. I think we were lost for about 3 hours out there, 3 or 4 hours. I don't remember nothing because my eyes. It was so hard of a blow to the head that my eyes were just moving real fast and stuff. They finally got their air mat at me and stuff, but basically, when my neck stiffens up, it's because of those accidents that I had. Now that I'm getting older, it affects me pretty bad now. Like right now, I can when I turn it to the right, it hurts me sometimes. It comes and goes. The pain. There's days that I feel fine, but then there's days that I feel like I have like concussion. Like everything gets blurry, or sometimes I lose my balance. Like my equilibrium is off. But that's what happens, when you serve in the military. That some of the accidents or things that happen uh, affect you later on in life. I keep a copy of all my medical records, brothers and sisters. Of all the stories that I say, I have the copies of all the. You got to keep a track. Everything that you've been through. When you're in an accident, you remember everything. I remember why the accident happened. Not the one where I was in the back of the deuce because I couldn't see nothing. You're in the back of the deuce, you can't see what's in front, where the driver's doing. But in the tank, I remember in the tank, when I was in that tank, in the accident in the tank, I was a driver, and the gunner was gonna uh, exit the military, and he wanted to drive the tank one last time. Uh, as He wanted to drive the tank one last time, they told me to be in the loader seat. I said, okay. That's what it was his last fuel problem. So I said, okay. So I go, and when you're in the loader sesh and we're playing out four, we're training like we're fighting the enemy. That's why I named named the title "Paying Attention to Detail," in which, as you train throughout the years, you're able to do any position in that tank. It's a four-man crew. You got the driver's job. You got the loader's job. The drivers and loaders job. Driver takes care of the whole, puts the oil, transmission, or any kind of oil or grease. That's the driver's responsibility to keep the track greased. Any loose track pads, tying them down. That's the job of the driver. Then you get the loader. The loader's in charge of cleaning inside the turrets and taking care of the sponsor boxes that are up on top. And sometimes the loader will go help out the driver. Do the track, or sometimes if the rest of the crew want to participate, they can if they want to, but they don't have to. Like the gunner and loader, that's the gunner and the TC. The gunner is to be a gunner, and he's got rank. Then you got the TC. Sometimes the TC is the tank commander in charge of the tank. So you try to keep the tank ready to go, to be 100% at all times. How you doing, Miggy? How you doing, lady? Sarah, Ladybug, Sarah. How you doing? So everybody's got a job, and it's good. When we train to be able to do any position of the tank, just in case something happens to somebody. Like for example, if something happens to the TC, especially in a combat environment, then somebody's going to have to fill in the slot, which most likely will be the gunner, will become the TC. Then the loader will have to become the loader and the gunner, because the driver is a driver in a combat situation. So they train you to be able to do any job on that tank. But now that I'm older and stuff, man, that's why I always talk about paying attention to detail. I remember when I was younger, I'll be jumping off the tank from the top on the ground and stuff like that with my gear on. They'll be like, "Hey, don't be doing that." I said, my tank commander, platoon sergeant, they'll be like, "Don't be doing that. You're gonna feel it later on. When you get our age, you're gonna feel that." How you doing, Alan? So you're gonna feel that. It's like, I ain't gonna feel nothing. Okay, you'll see. Now that I'm older, I'm not in the military anymore. I feel a lot of the things that they told me to be careful for. I feel it. Some of the accidents, things happen, when you're in the military, especially as a tanker. We're the first ones to go. The first line of defense is us, the tankers, and the scouts. We're all part of like the infantry and all that. We're the first line of defense. First ones to go. That's why I call it paying attention to detail. That's why I named it here tonight. I told my wife, because she's not feeling well either. I said, I'm gonna do a live for about an hour and a half, and just talk. People don't understand the sacrifices that soldiers do. People always trying to look at the worst of the worst things about soldiers. One of the things that I see a lot is they want to target soldiers. Oh, they got PTSD. They got this. They got that. Man, yeah, that's true. There's some soldiers that got PTSD, but it depends on the person. It depends on the person how they can handle a situation. You know, when there's bullets flying around and the other tank, the enemy's trying to take you out, you got no time to be thinking about anything. You just react to the situation, and just take care of business. Worry about everything later on. Once you overcome the trials and tribulations you're going through, or that the doing your job, whether you're doing the offensive or the defensive. Yeah, we carry a big burden on us. Well, I mean, I did 10 years. The the first year in the military is when I went to combat. So yeah, for 10 years, I carried a the burden of me being in combat, being already a combat veteran, and I still had to do. I still did 9 more years after that. 10 years. There's some of my friends that did 20, 25 years. So they don't ask us about tell us about PTSD or nothing like that when you're still in the military and uh, you're still a soldier, re-enlisting, taking an oath over and over. Doing 3 years here, 4 years there. You don't think about that. You're just doing your job. That's your job. When you take an oath, that's your job, and you can climb the ranks. You can climb the ladder. Me, I couldn't climb the ladder because of the blows to the head that I had. I got diagnosed with an illness, and that's why I left the military due to the illness. In which the government still helps me to this day. Those two blows to the head that I'm telling you about. You know, when you get a blow like that, the blows that I got were could have been, you could say, death blows. Luckily, the two times that I did have those two death blows, in the back of the deuce, I had my Kevlar on, so the Kevlar saved me from a death blow. When I went into the wadi, I had my CBC on, which has a pad in it, like a cushion. It's got a thin shell. I still had some protection when I hit my head. Even though I was knocked out, it still saved me from not not being here, being unalived. My body was all banged up that day. When all that happened to me, when I flew out of the tank, my body was swollen. At that time, I weighed like 165 pounds, and I was like swollen. I couldn't even lift anything. I was hurting real bad. But the good thing is I survived those things. But I'm feeling it now that I'm older. There is people like that. There is people like that. You know, I used to have people disrespect me all the time, uh, here in Central Texas. This is after I was out of the military, and I just didn't want no problems with people, because I know what I'm capable of doing. So I would try not to pay attention to but the person continued and continued for about, he's always talking mess to me, disrespecting me, but I wouldn't say nothing because I was raising my son and I was sick, and I said, okay, if I do something stupid and I went up in jail, then who's going to take care of my son? If my son depends on me, then the medicines that I had me on, somebody could tell me something, and it would take me about 2 weeks to give them a response. For reals, the medicine that they had me on, it was like that. Like somebody could be telling me all kinds of stuff in my face, and I'd just be looking at them, wouldn't say nothing to them. There was this guy that was always doing this to me. I'll be at the swimming pool. It's after the military. Because if I was in the military and he would have done that, well, that would have been a whole different story. That dude would have got in tore up by Sarcias. But being heavily medicated with the medicines that they had me on when they were trying to control my condition, this medicine, I couldn't be in the sunlight. So you could say, when people talk about Nosferatu, well, I couldn't be in the sunlight because it would affect me, the medicine that they had me on. So I would always sit in the shade, and my son, take him to the swimming pool. This guy was always disrespecting me, and it's like 2 weeks would pass by. Then all of a sudden, I'm mad. I'm mad in my house, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm mad, and it's like, oh shit, I'm mad at something that happened 2 weeks ago. It's like it would take imagine that, brothers and sisters, and there's a lot of veterans like that right now. They have them heavily medicated on meds that they can't react to an action. They don't have no reaction to an action. In a combat situation, I would be dead. If that was a combat situation, I'll be dead. But I was in the military then. I was already out of the military. So that would happen to me a lot. I remember I finally talked to the doctor, and I told him, look, doc, so this medicine it's killing me. I can't be out in the sun. It's making me feel a certain way. Can you please take me off of it? I was on it for about 13 years. You had to take an act of God, just put it that way. I'm not going to say what happened, just in case. But I know that it took an act of God in order for him to change the medicines. Once they changed the medicines, which is the medicines that I take now, it changed my life. It's like a lot of things that were happening to me, like the slow reaction time. Other things with the meds was hallucinations, which that would happen. That happens with a lot of medicines. Hallucinations, and there were, and many other things. So I remember being at that pool. I've been off the other meds that had me all groggy and not be able to react. I've been off for it for about a month and a half, which that was already out of my system. So I'm sitting there on this new medicines in which I could be in the sun. I was more alert. So I'm sitting there, and then this guy, he comes and he's like doing the same thing you would always do. Come and disrespect me. He disrespected in front of my son when my son was young for about 13 years, So this day, my son's swimming in there in the pool, and this guy's disrespecting me again. And his wife's there, and his children are there. And he's just going off on me for no reason, thinking and I'm just sitting there just looking at him. He just don't know that I'm not on the medicines anymore. He don't know that I'm listening to everything he's telling me, and I'm fixing to react to him. He don't know yet. So he says all the disrespectful things that he says. He turns around and it's got a smile on his face like he would always smile. But there was a difference this time. This time I got up. And when he turned around, I'm looking at him. And I tell him, look, you've disrespected me for many years now. I just want to know one thing. What are we going to do about it to solve the disrespect that you're disrespecting me? I'm not on the meds that I used to be on. let's go handle the situation right now. Me and you as man to man, just like you're disrespecting me all this time. We're gonna go handle it man to man right now. Man, he wanna go talk to his wife, got his kids, and left the swimming pool. Didn't want to deal with me. And to top it off, this person that you're suspecting for numerous years was a preacher, believe it or not, from some church, was a preacher. I was like, how can a person represent a church and be have so much hatred and anger towards somebody, But I stood my ground, and I've been standing my ground ever since. Uh, yeah, people don't understand uh, what soldiers go through. There's a lot of homeless right now, homeless people that done served and they don't know how to do certain things, because like some of them might have conditions, and when you're a soldier, they just want you to be a soldier, no matter what condition you might have. They don't want you to take care of whatever condition you might have. They want you to be the soldier, So they might cut you short from going to the hospitals or to seeing other doctors of what you might have, and they want to keep you within the aid stations and the TMCs, but they don't want you to go higher than that. The only thing they give you is ibuprofen. Take some ibuprofen, you'll be all right. There's nothing wrong with you. You could be bleeding from all over your crevices of your body, and there's nothing wrong with you. That's the military for you. They don't give a damn. The only thing they care about is if you're 100% equipment wise, and if you're 100% soldier wise. That's all they care about. You're ready to go on the mission, in which soldiers do sacrifice a lot of things. I've gone on missions with a dislocated shoulder and a broken nose, in which they could have sent me to the doctor. They knew I had a broken nose and a messed up shoulder. I was in a field problem. They're like, "Don't unpack your bags," and they sent me to a guard the Iraqi border for 3 months, straight out of the field problem. I didn't even get go home. I kept my bags packed, and they sent us. I was out there with a broken nose and a dislocated shoulder. Said they only care about the mission. So that's when I started realizing that soldiers are just numbers. We're expendable. So when that happened to me, I said, you know what? From now on, I'm just going to take care of myself, because I know now that the army is not going to take care of me. So I got to take care of numero uno, which is me. And that's what I started doing. I started doing my own thing, because I noticed that the brotherhood that I thought existed wasn't there, you know. So I had to take care of myself. If I would have taken care of myself and took matters into my own hands, I probably wouldn't be here right now. But thank God that I did. I had to ignore the bullshit, ignore the people that were coming up against me in a negative way, just because I didn't want to be part of the bullshit. I figured that they didn't give a shit about me. They were just a number. So I started doing just worried about numero uno, worried about me. And sometimes I feel like that here. And when I do that, not on this show, but I see kind of, even though these people were not in the military or nothing like that, some of these podcasters, I see a lot of that. There's a lot of envy. There's a lot of people that are affiliated with each other. They go after people. I know they've come after me numerous times because they're affiliated, because they believe in Bigfoots, or they believe in Dogman, they believe in aliens, they believe in, you name it. And if you're not partaking in the bullshit, then they target you, because they're in cahoots, so they target you to come after you. It's like they don't understand. You know, they don't understand when it comes down to that. The Heavenly Father has blessed me numerous times, which I shouldn't be here, but He's blessed me to be here. He's brought me back into this world because I've crossed over spiritually. And these people don't understand how important the mission is that I'm on. If they can't partake in the spiritual mission that I'm doing, well, then they just need to get out of the way and let me do my thing. If they want to go hunting for things that are of non-existence, go ahead, but stay out of my way, stay out of my lane of the things that I'm trying to do here on spiritual and DDN cryptid encounters. That's what I named it. Now I'm thinking about naming it a spiritual and DDN encounters, but I don't know. We'll see. I think I had like 14 days to figure out what name I want to have. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it like this. But yeah, I see a lot of that. I see how people go for the juggler on each other and stuff. Me, I've been, like I said, I've been sick, but I've been seeing all these things that are happening. Uh, I've seen that the video of some guy, some group, 401, missing 401, going off on the David Pilates guy, the guy that everybody says. And I guess he thinks that all the 401 missing cases are Bigfoot, you know. All these people that are missing the 401 cases are Bigfoots. I've talked about it before. I don't know who this guy is. I've never met the guy. Uh, and there's people that do the missing 401 cases, like this other guy that was going off on him because they look at newspaper articles and all this stuff, whatever. I understand the point. I understand the point of view of the guy of what he was saying. Uh, yeah, not I know when he talks about they're trying to say, he's basically saying that all the people that are missing is big up for Bigfoot because he believes in Bigfoot, in which he's that by itself is trying to keep Bigfoot alive by saying all 401 missing cases is because Bigfoot took them. This other guy was saying otherwise. He's saying he was lying about that, because all the cases that saying that it had to do with Bigfoots, something completely different happened, in which that's our argument right there, in which he called it that the dude's bluff, and he put his truth out there, which I could see his point. I don't know either of the guys. I know they're trying to do the same things, but I got one thing to add to that about that guy when he's talking about berries. That some of the bodies are found in berry bushes and all this stuff. Well, yeah, he's literally trying to say that the berries stands for what Bigfoots eat, right? Berries. But you figure for something to be that huge, to sustain that diet, for it to be that huge, supposedly huge, right? We'll have to eat a hell of a lot of berries to keep something that huge. I think it's but I could see the guy's point of view. Me, the only thing I have to say to either of those guys, I don't think they'll watch the show, is that I actually was involved in finding somebody right? That was missing. Not that I knew that he was missing, but it happened that way spiritually. Uh, through my when I go and do my investigations, there was a guy that had been missing for. Well, what happened is, I think I have the video when I find the truck out there in the woods. I find a truck out in the woods, in the woods. The keys are still in the ignition. I think the wallet was there, and I was yelling to see if anybody was around. There was a lot of activity, brothers and sisters. A lot of paranormal activity happening around me. Right off the bat, I think I have a video. Maybe I can show it if y'all want to see it. I can look for it, but basically, there was a lot of activity around me, and I think I had a piece of selenite in my hand, and there was so much activity. Like, I'm talking about disembodied voices and things that was trying to prevent me from going into the woods that day. But I didn't let this stop me from going. I maintained my faith. I had done the sign of the cross, and I went into the woods. I didn't know that there was a person missing or anything like that. It just happened that I found a truck, and then I kept on walking to another section, and I found like a mosquito net. I found like I think there was like a duffel bag and like a tarp on the ground. But I didn't touch anything, and uh, activity was crazy around me. I mean, you could hear all kinds of things, and I left. I left the woods. There was people that were viewing because I was doing a live here on. I think it was on spiritual and it was on spiritual and encrypted encounters off of Facebook. I did the live, and I got out of there. I went to the parking lot, called the cops, gave them I told them where the truck was. They never showed up, so I went home. I was there for about, man, a good 4 hours. I went home. Then the cops called me. It was a Friday evening. They called me, and they asked me if I could give them the coordinates to where this truck was, and I told them I tell them how to get there. That weekend, they did an investigation, and Monday morning came along, popped in the news that a person that had been missing for 2.5 months was found. That his body was found, or remains of his body was found. That he was deceased. They said they found the truck and that they found the body. Uh, Spiritually, of all the activity that was around me that day, I could have just got out of the area, but I was being guided by a higher power. Sometimes the Heavenly Father places you there because I guess he wanted this person to be found. Uh, which I guess I believe they might have put his body in holy ground. I'm not sure, but sometimes that's what it is. The Heavenly Father wants a body to be found. And I remember like a month before that. Like I said, I don't know how long this guy was deceased, but he had been missing for 2.5 months. I remember hearing the voice of a man say, "Help me," but it was in the path. Just a disembodied voice. Sometimes when you do the EVPs, on your recording. Let me catch up to the comments. I'm way behind, brother and sisters. Let me catch up to the comments, folks. I'm like way behind on the comments. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, my comments don't move here. So I have to go down and look. Yes. Basically, what I'm saying, I was guided spiritually to go into those woods, even though there was a lot there trying to prevent me to find, I guess, to go to that location. I was just following. I always follow my spirit. How the Heavenly Father guides me. That's how I found that guy. You know. So in saying that, I've I actually helped somebody that was missing get found. I did not see a Bigfoot. I did not see an alien. I didn't see a dog man. But what I did catch on camera, well, there were some things that I caught that day, but there was a lot of disembodied voices that I captured saying all kinds of dreadful things to me when I was there in that location where I'm thinking he might have been at, his body might have been at. Like I said, I didn't touch anything. I just was recording, and I was following my senses, and I could feel all the, I guess, the territorial demons or DDNs, right? They have some kind of authority over the man's soul. Still to this day, I don't know what happened to the guy. I don't know if he took his life or somebody else did something to him. They never said nothing about it. Of what happened to the guy? So I can tell you that I did not see one single Bigfoot out there, nor Dogman, or any other kind of cryptid. But I did get resistance from DDN activity, demonic activity, unclean spirit activity. I did get resistance from them, and that's why I know that it was something dealing with that nature. Like I said, I still to this day I don't know what happened to the guy, uh, but there was that activity. Yeah, I got the video, that I could show. Do you want me to? This is, and I feel, like if somebody is saying that Bigfoot has the cause that is that's killing this people that disappear in the woods, I'm telling you, it's not Bigfoot. I'm telling you that right now. There's other ways that people can have things can happen to people. If nobody's ever taken a land nav course, you got to do some math to do a land nav course with a map, right? Back in the day, that's the way it was with a compass and a map. You have to do math to be able to know exactly where you're at following a map. Uh, Nowadays, they have coordinates. You put in the coordinates where you're at, and the satellite will guide you where you're at. But if your phone stops working or the battery goes dead, you know, and you get lost, how are you going to get back to? They say you're supposed to stay in place, but if you get lost because you're trying to find your way out of there, you can go deeper into the woods, which is one thing that can happen where people get lost. That's one way people die because your body can can if your body doesn't have enough water or food, your body going to give out on you. Your body is going to go into dehydration mode, or how should I say, yeah, dehydration mode. Your skin's start going to start cracking, and that's it, man. It, your body can only be without water for so long. Um, that's one way, and then of course, accidents do happen. You have accidents where somebody slips, hits their head on a piece of rock, or they're trying to climb a cliff, they slip. There's another possibility that can happen is that um, wildlife there's wildlife out there that they can attack. You got a pack of coyotes, you got bears, you got lions, uh, cougars, wildcats, a snake bite that somebody can die of a rattlesnake bite, a copperhead bite, things of that nature can happen. Many ways that somebody can lose their life out there. So technically, when people say that Bigfoot is a cause of all that, that's bullshit. I'm just letting you know, as being in the military for 10 years, that I've seen people disappear. Uh, they find them, uh, but they get lost. Like in the military, they have land nav course, and people get lost. There was been like two or three soldiers that died out there on Fort Hood, where they get lost, and I guess they're trying to find the way back, and they go deeper and deeper into the woods, especially during the summer and it's too hot. Then finally, they go do a search party, and they find them, but by then it's too late. They're dehydrated, they're dead, because they have lost all the fluids. Yeah, I'm just, I could see, about those guys talking to each other. They're trying to. I think one of them, the guy. I mean, I don't know either dude, but yeah, I mean, yeah, uh, how they target, or what's that term that I'm looking for? It's a cutthroat business, right? People trying to make a name for themselves. I'm just being honest to you, brothers and sisters. First of all, I would say to you, I still haven't seen the body of a Bigfoot. Not a single body of a Bigfoot. So if there's no body of a Bigfoot, then how can you blame Bigfoot for the missing 401 case files? No body, no evidence that a Bigfoot even exists. So how are you going to blame something that's not of existence? Even if you were to blame a dogman, how can you blame a dogman if there's no body of a dogman? Or any cryptid you want to name, if there's no body of them, right? If there's no body of them, then how can you blame something that doesn't even exist? I think they do it because they want the people to think, they want to keep the lie alive, the lie of the Bigfoot, the lie of the dogman. I don't know. They're just trying to keep it popular, I guess. That's what I think they're doing. They do that, what they do. Like I said, how can you blame something on something that there's no proof it even exists, because there's no body. You say, oh, yeah, there was a lot of berries, eating berries around the body. It was a Bigfoot. I'm just being honest about that. But I guess the guy did his. The other guy that was ratting on that dude, what's his name? Like I ain't even gonna say his name. I'm just gonna call him DP. Uh, I guess he must not like him. That's what I witnessed. He don't like the guy because I guess he was saying he don't like liars, or that the stories he lied about the stories or the books. He looked into it and it was completely opposite of what he was saying. You know, he did the research. If Bigfoot is real, Ladybug, then but there's no body. I mean, show me how they say it in the movie instead of show me the money, show me the body, show me the body. I've seen it where they found a dead body. And they're like, oh, he got bit by like six rattlesnakes. He went underneath that building. And there was a nest of rattlesnakes. And do have fangs all over them. So they say it was a rattlesnake bite. Remember the cow that everybody's saying that a dog man that a dog man cut the side of the cow. It wasn't a dog man that did that. There was a here in Texas. There was a cow that was found that it was missing its hide, a big piece of hide. They were saying that a dog man did that. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the dog man did that to it. The dog man did that to it." It wasn't a dog man. It was a pack of coyotes that did that to it. But you ever notice a trend that every time something happens, they want to blame either the Bigfoot or the dog man. The case of the little boy, they said he got dragged up a mountain. Oh, that was the dog man that did that to it. The backstory to that was that his parents his parents would would breed pit bulls, and they were trained to fight. They were trained the dogs to fight other dogs, right? And everybody's, oh, a dog man did that. A dog man did. No, it was the pit bulls were trained to kill. They dragged dragged that little boy. But it's crazy, man. That every time something happens, everybody wants to jump on and say, "Oh, that was a Bigfoot. Oh, that was a dog man." I mean, things are going to happen. You heard about the woman that got eaten by her dogs in her house. I think she had like three dogs. Something happened. They were fighting, and she tried to break the fight, and they started biting her, and then next thing you know, they find her. Her own dogs killed her. But at one point in time, everybody, oh, it was a dog man. It was a dog man. It was a dog man. And I said, no, it was her own dogs that ate her. That's one thing about dogs. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know when to stop eating. I had an experience with that out there in the front lines, brothers and sisters. When I was 19, out there in the Battle of Medina Ridge, after the war, they told us to stay in place where we last fought. Mind you, there were still underground bunkers. There could have been enemy in the ground, and we're standing there in place where they told us to stop, where all the burning tanks are and all the dead bodies are. So it smells like death. We sat there for about 7 days. Could smell everything. At the same time, in those 7 days, the dogs came. They came for miles. Dogs can smell death. And at nighttime, you could hear the dogs eating, feasting on the dead bodies out there. There was no body bag detail yet. We're still out there in the front lines, and that's all you hear: them eat, 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 fighting each other. The dogs start fighting each other because they're fighting to eat the dead. When the sun rises, that's all you hear at nighttime. We had no night vision. It was dark, rich dark from all the burning tanks and burning oil wells. When the sun will rise, you'll be able to see the dogs up there with their stomachs are all bloated and fat, where they've been eating. I did not see a Bigfoot out there eating the bodies. I would be a liar if I were to tell you, oh, the Bigfoots were out there. The Bigfoots was out there in the front lines, and the dogmen were out there in the front lines eating the body parts. I would tell you straight up, I'm full of shit if I were to tell you that. It was regular dogs that were eating the human flesh. They had no food. There was dead bodies. They were doing their thing. But you see what I'm saying to you? You can't. And I've said this story before of the dogs were eating the body parts. Now, was there other things out there that would make me think there was something else out there besides the dogs eating? Oh man, could have been at nighttime, because the nighttime is dark. There could have been something else out there. I can tell you that. And the only reason I'm going to tell you this, because I will hear something out there by the tanks at night, hear something growling, but it wasn't a growl like a dog. It was more like oh, man, there's a weird, like a roar. But the strange thing about this roar, or growl, loud growl, was that it was coming from above the tank. All the dogs were on the ground, right? They're on fours, but something was going around the tanks, growling from above. And I'm like, wait a moment. So if I slept inside the tank. Something I could hear the growl. Imagine the tank. I'm on the tank, so whatever was growling was above us. So the only thing I can think of would be what I call the TDN, the disembodied demonic Nephilim, or the Degen, or something of that nature. But you got to think about it. If the regular dogs came, is it possible that maybe they could have been a what people call the dog man out there? I don't know, but there was something out there that was growling from above us, and the tank is pretty tall. Whatever that was, I don't know. I never see nothing, but I could hear the growl. I'm thinking because there was death, could have been a DDN, a Reaper, something dealing with death. Yeah, that's nothing. I was hearing the growl. I heard it very close to me. Like I'm talking about, I was in the front slope of the tank. That growl was right there above me, like right by me. So I said, okay, I'm gonna find out what's growling by my head. So that night, the following night, I stayed with all my gear on, and I'm waiting. I got my bayonet knife, got my weapon, and I'm waiting to see if I could see what's growling at me. So I heard the growl, and I jumped off the tank. And when I'm looking, I see something white crawling, coming at me, and I'm looking at it, and it's a white dog, uh, a white dog, and it's coming at me, and it starts running towards me. So I start running towards it. This is in the front lines where there's dead bodies. I'm running. It's running towards me, and it lunges at me. It opens its mouth like it's gonna, because it had already ate most of the dead corpse out there. So what happens with dogs when they eat like that? That they see me, will see me as food. So it jumps in the air and it's gonna bite me, and I kick it, boom, right in the jaw. It starts spinning, and I'm like, "Pow, pow, 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 pow." Man, I hit it this. I'm well trained, I was hitting it. I was fast with my hands. I was hit this dog so many times that this dog was crying. Where I was beating the crap out of it when it was spinning in the air. I hit it multiple times, and as I was fixing to take it out, I hear my first sergeant yell like, "What the fuck's going on out there?" And you can hear the dog, the dog, you know, takes off. It takes off. Whew. So they told me, what the hell's going on out there? And I was telling them that the dog tried to attack me. So they sent in an order to hire, and I was telling them about the situation, what happened. So they put an order to kill all the dogs. So the following day, they were killing all the dogs. Boom, 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 taking them all out because they didn't want them to start targeting the soldiers. But that's what happens with animals, brothers and sisters. They're not your pets anymore. Once they get the taste of blood, they change. They're not trustworthy no more. Oh yeah, man. Not just animals, brothers and sisters. You gotta be careful even with children and women because they could have bombs on them. I didn't know that. You see a woman or a child, you don't think that they're capable of doing something like that. But as we found out, it's when the new Iraqi war happened, they started doing that. I remember I got in a argument with my loader about giving some waters and MREs. You tell them don't let them get near the tank because they might have something on them, a bomb or something like that. And something happened, and I had we got in a scuffle, I told them they're just kids or whatever. But then in this new war, they start using the kids and the women to go blow up the tanks and stuff like that. The soldiers kill soldiers. So every war is different. Yeah, you can't trust anything. That's why you have to pay attention to detail, be focused on the mission. Oh yeah, I was fast with my hands, brother Roy. I could have killed that dog if I wanted to when I had it up in the air. I just let him know. I just let him know. I just let the dog know who the alpha was. Let him know who the alpha was. You know, I think that's why he was trying to attack me. So I had to let him know who was in charge out there. Imagine if this, because I would hear when the dogs were eating, if there was anybody that might have been alive, was pretending to be dead, I'm thinking the dogs might have taken out some of those people that might have still been alive. There was a lot of dogs. I'm talking about shit, not, like a lot of dogs out there in the hundreds. Yeah, it was sad, but you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, and it's bad. Now, if I would have seen something, because I did witness the Degen, I'm gonna tell you, I seen the Degen out there, just like I witnessed the dogs what they did. But the Degen, I had already seen it even before that. I seen it in a person at the what was the name of the towers? Something. Can't remember the name of the tower's name, the Kobe Towers or something like that. Uh, I seen a person that had an unclean spirit of the Degen in them. Oh yeah, hundreds. Lots of dogs out there. There was a lot of dogs. I mean, I'm talking about the line, or it was a big. I was in the largest tank battle out there, the Battle of Medina Ridge. There was a long miles of tanks, a big line. They were everywhere. The dogs. I believe so. We were in the front line, so we didn't deal with any POWs or nothing like that. We did what we had to do. So the people that took care of the POWs was the people that were behind us. We wasn't involved in that POW camps or anything like that. We were the front line. I'm talking about the first to go. That's what I did. So we stayed. Well, whatever was in front of us was burning tanks, dead bodies, and the border, the Iraqi border, and Kuwaiti border, right there that stood in front of us. We were the first line of offense, the front line. Our front line sustained all their military that they had. The the Medina Republican Guard, the Blue Arafat. I think they had two other ones that they had there. Two other, just couldn't remember all of them, but we defeated all of them. Or front line. Yeah, war is hell. A lot of I still have the images of what I witnessed, of the things that I had to do out there in the front lines. Yeah, the sound, the sound, how the dogs were eating. That hearing that all night while you're trying to get some rest, it's not a good sound. It's something that it stays with me. Even to this day. I have my own pets and stuff, and if they start acting a certain way, I tell them to behave and just eat their food. When a dog is eating just to eat, but it's not hungry. So that sound when dogs are eating like crazy, it affects me because I remember the sound that they made out there when I was in combat. When I mean the sound they were doing when they were eating body parts, it affects me till this day. Yeah, every war is different. Yeah, I knew people. My godfathers. One was a marine, and the other one was in the army. Uh, One was infantry, the other one was a marine, and then I had another person that was he was a tanker back in the day in I think World War II or World War I, one of those. They were old, you know, veterans, and they would try to guide me, and share. tell me stories and stuff like that. My godfathers. Yeah, when the dog tried to attack me, man, I didn't want to do nothing to it, but I had no choice. You know, I had no choice but to do what I had to do. I'm just saying that when I share my stories, I share what I experienced. I know somebody said something about the DDN. Yeah, there was the DDN, unclean spirits. That's what they are. Some call them the Gen or the Gen. They're out there in that region, and not just in that region. They're everywhere. I call them the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. They're here in the U.S. They're everywhere. But I witnessed the Gen out there. I even witnessed it again back in when I went to two different times out there uh, during Operation Desert Storm. Witnessed it there in the battle itself, and then I witnessed it back in '95 when I went back to guard the border for about 3 months. They sent me out there, cross the test with infantry, and I witnessed the gen activity out there again. Uh, you know what? I don't even I've never heard. I mean, I've heard it from people, but I think that the thing with the Gondar Giant is a lie. I don't think it's true, brother and sisters. I'm here to be honest, tell you the truth, because I have friends that still work for the government, and they would have told me something about it. I'm thinking it was a story that they made up. There used to be there's many stories that soldiers have made up just to see if it becomes a trend, or to see people are going to believe in the story and stuff like that. Yeah, I have several medals myself. Yeah, may he rest in peace, brother Roy. Let me see. Uh, I can find something here real quick. I'm trying to see. I can find that video of when I want to go and investigate in the woods. Let me see. I can find it real quick. I think it's under videos. Yeah, I would have to look for it. Let me see something here. Let me play this video real quick for y'all. Uh, let me share this video with you real quick.
This side over here.
Wait one.
It goes nothing. But something definitely bended those trees. You see? That tree got bended and that tree got bended down by something. Because it wasn't like that. So something bended this trees right here. Those branches got bended down. And of course, the main branch that's right here at the entrance. I don't know if it's muddy or not, but we're gonna enter it. See how all these trees are bended? Normally when you see something at an entrance or a passageway, there's something telling you, don't come in here, this is our territory. You know, like letting you know, don't come in here. As you can see, I just heard something. I don't know if you heard that. Oh, okay, there you go. It was some dogs in the distance barking. I don't know. How you doing, Sister Gloria Vela? Curtis, how you doing? Brother Corey? We're gonna go the opposite way this time. I normally go right, man. I just feel a pain on my back right here. Man, something interrupted the connection, brother and sisters. Give him over here, bro. Yeah. Could be rabbit dogs. You hear that? Oh my God. Just be careful, man. Oh my God. That's crazy. Something breaking the connection, brothers and sisters. Out through this passageway. If it continues, we just go. Oh, man. We keep on getting the interruption with the connection. If anybody's tuning in, a lot of interference. I felt activity right off the bat on the entrance. Felt like something hit me in the back on my lower lumbar area, and I kept on losing connection all the way through as we walked through the path. As we were gonna go to the other side, there was some dogs barking out there, and I think somebody is camping out there in the woods. They have a like a tent set up, so I don't want to intrude in their space over there. So we came back this way, see what we capture. But yeah, I feel some, like something hit me in the back at the entrance when I dropped the connection, when I lost the connection. How you doing, Sister Dawn? So I know we're gonna go too far, you know. The connection is working here. But can't go the other way where I wanted to go because somebody's got a tent set up out there and they have dogs. So hard times, you know. All right. I'm just gonna go a little bit this ways and then we head on back out of here. How you doing, David? See a big tree over there in the back. It's another branch is broken over there, bro. See that? It's pretty high. For whatever broke those branches. Oh man. It's 106 here in Texas right now. More interference, brothers and sisters. Oh man, this is crazy. More interference. I keep on losing connection out here. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna head on back because it keeps on interrupting my live feed. Yeah, my live feed keeps on getting interrupted, brothers and sisters. But that's what they normally do. How you doing, Sister Fawn? Ever since I started coming to this trail, since the beginning of this live, I keep on losing connection. You feeling something?
Yeah, my left arm's been burning since over there. Look.
Yeah, I heard some movement over here.
See, look.
Yeah.
It's right there, not over here.
Yeah.
This is all burning.
Yeah, I heard movement over here to the left. Where you're on the phone, I heard movement over here, like somebody moving. Movement here by the woods. You hear that? There's no bird, is it?
I don't know what the deal is, but this arm is all burning.
The person that I brought here, his arm is all red and it's burning. And it sounds like somebody's whistling over here, but it's not no bird. Sounds like a person. Pay attention. You hear it? That's not no bird. Sounds like a person whistling over there. Possible shapeshifter skinwalkers, brothers and sisters. That's what's out here. You hear that whistle? That's not a bird. Let me see where it's coming from. That was weird. It sounded like no bird. It sounded like a person whistling. Trying to mimic a bird sound. Coming from this vicinity right here. All right. How's your arm doing? Can we take a picture? Show the people the arm. He's got the arm is all red. Where he said he felt something, and his arm is all red right now. Like something made contact with him. So we're gonna keep an eye on the way out of here. Watch your right flank. I feel something here. All my hairs are standing up. Chills all over my body. Something here where I'm standing. Let me look around. This is around the spot you felt, right? Something definitely right here in this area. Hairs are standing up. Identify yourself. If there's something here, here's a camera. Show yourself to the camera. Here's your opportunity. Show yourself to the camera. Where you at? Make a sound or something. Identify yourself. All right. That was a hot spot you're talking about. All right, let's do this. Let me know you sense anything to your right. I'll keep an eye behind us. Identify yourself. I hear movement to my left and a movement in the woods. Here's your chance to shine. Identify yourself. Yeah, we're heading out of here. There was definitely some activity happening. I heard movement in the wood line, movement behind me. Somebody pretending to be a bird, trying to pretend like it was making a whistle over a bird. Sounded human to me. Shapeshifter skinwalkers can do that. Mimic sounds. If there's any negative energies around us, you're not welcome. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. You're not allowed to follow us, attach yourself to us in any kind of way, shape, or form. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Like I said, you're not allowed to follow us to where we live. We're leaving your territory. See somebody standing over there. What's your carnal? Ya está alguien parado en la esquina con una camisa paloma como azul, standing by the wood line, by the edge. See him over there? Ahí están en la esquina, bro.
Oh yeah. Come on.
Let's get out of here. You seen it?
Yeah.
They came out of nowhere. I seen it through the corner of my eye. Maybe they'll follow us out of here. Probably woke them out of their sleep. See if they follow. Anyway, brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in to this little investigation that we did, and we're having all kinds of technical difficulties. I think towards the end, I was able to capture a homeless person on the video, standing by the edge of the wood, looking our direction. They were just standing at the edge, looking at directions. They had I believe, like camouflage pants on and a light blue shirt on. And saying that, I'm done with this investigation for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will debunk this video, see what we capture. Everybody have a blessed afternoon.
There we go, folks. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. Yeah, Mondays is kind of slow here on. It's pretty slow. I think we got like 6 viewers right now. Yeah, the allergies is trying to get the best of me again, but yeah, I was just talking about a lot of things, dealing with combat and stuff. But yeah, I'm just saying, man, for people trying to say that all the 411 missing cases or Bigfoots, that's bullshit. I'm just here to tell you straight up. We see a lot of that happening, man. What do you think about that? Everybody's trying to blame something on something, something that fits their agenda. Well, I gotta go defend these people here because they're affiliated with me. I gotta back them up, even if they're liars. Maybe one day, out of all the cryptozoologists that there is in the crypto community, maybe they'll find a Bigfoot, or maybe they'll find a dogman, or a little Bigfoot, or a little dog boy, and they have it as evidence. Oh no, it does exist. But there is a lot of AI stuff right now. It's out of control. It's everywhere. The AI. It's a full moon. Well, who's the 6 viewers that's here right now? Y'all gonna get to see something that other people are not gonna be able to see till it says here I got 6 viewers. I don't know how many, but I'm gonna share it with y'all. Or should I wait for World Wednesday? Maybe I'll just wait for World Wednesday. I got something to share with y'all. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Oh, it says 19 viewers now. Oh wow. Well, so since we got 19 viewers, I'm gonna share this with y'all. You ready? This is I was gonna say for World Wednesday. Okay, I went to an estate sale and it was weird. This estate sale that I went to because all the things that were there was all native stuff. I'm talking about picture frames of natives, statues of natives. I did get me a big dream catcher from that location. The strange thing about it is I said that the person that lived there passed away in that house, right? So we were just checking it out, and I noticed that they had a statue of a skinwalker. I'm talking about it was the native with a hide on his head, and what was freaky about it is that he had yellow eyes. The eyes of the statue had yellow eyes, and they were everywhere. They had one that was like a shaman. So whoever passed away in this house was native, right? So there was all kinds of things like that, and there was something that blessed me with. But I'm thinking I'm going to show maybe a World Wednesday. If you want to check it out for World Wednesday, I got something today. The girl gave me because she said that she was afraid of it. So I'm thinking I'm going to share that. Should I wait for World Wednesday or should I share it with y'all? If you want me to share with y'all, give me a thumbs up. I went to this estate sale on Sunday. I have the dream catcher that I can share with you, but I don't want to touch it right now. It's pretty big. It's nice. I'm thinking about putting it back up there, setting it up there. Yeah, it was nothing but native stuff that was left in the garage. It's like it was a estate sale that had sold most of the stuff, minus what was in the garage, and there was a lot of statues and all kinds of things like that. Get thumbs up. What are all the things that they had there? She was afraid of the dream catcher that I got. It's pretty cool. I got it up there. Uh, the dream catcher is nice. I'm thinking about setting it up there somewhere in the background. I'm not sure. Uh, but here's what was given to me. She said that she was afraid of it. Do y'all want to check it out? Check this out. She was afraid of this, and the person told me that I could keep it. Now check this out. You ready? I don't want to play it too much because it'll hurt Rebel's ears. He's already looking at me real crazy. Well, what's weird about it is, okay, they had all this is what I'm trying to say. They had all this native stuff, right? They had this shaped skinwalker with a head of a coyote or wolf statue, but then they had the Wolfman. It's gonna be my co-host for Werewolf Wednesday, the mascot right here. Look at that. Play it one more time, Rebel. All right, here we go. He's right here, right beside me. Look, ready to protect. He's like, why are you waking me up with that? Okay, I'll give you a treat, but you make sure you go back to bed, Rebel. There you go. I just wanted to share with y'all. I got the dream catcher is nice. It's like an eagle in it. Yeah, I was thinking about getting the statue of the shapeshifter skinwalker, but I said, nah, I'm good. I've seen it in real life. So it was weird that the statue had yellow eyes, just kind of like the skinwalker that I seen with the yellow eyes. Yeah, it's a wolf man. Yeah, I done gave him his little snack. You know, I think there was a full moon tonight. That's cool, Sister Cynthia. This ain't. I don't know which one this is. It might be from Team Wolf. Let's find out. It says monsters on it. I think this is supposed to be the Wolf Man. Who was the one that wanted to hear the story of the Degen? I think somebody wanted to hear the story of Degen. I got a question. Has anybody ever seen somebody change demeanor? Like the person is not themselves. Has everybody witnessed something like that? Yeah, I got the Wolfman and I got little Bugs Bunny here beside him. Like, what's up, Doc? You seen people get out of character? Because I've seen people get out of character. Like, for example, some people that might be on something can change character, but I've seen people get spiritually attacked where maybe they might have the opening of being drunk, or maybe possibly being high, like a weed or whatever. But then all of a sudden, the unclean spirit will enter them because I'll be able to see the spirit go in them, the dark shadow figure. Then the person starts acting different, like it's not them. So what I do is when I see them and I know it's not them, like there was one that happened with my cousin that he changed out of demeanor and he pulled out a knife. He had a knife in his hand and he's coming, walking towards me, and just kind of like a little glare in his eyes. And of course, the unclean spirits, they flee. Especially, I looked at him and said, "Hey, love your cousin." The unclean spirit took off. They're like, "Hey, what's up, cuz?" And then it went back in him, and he started coming at me with a knife. And then I said, God bless you, cuz." And the unclean spirit left him. And he said, "God bless you too, primo." And he put up his knife. He didn't even remember what was happening to him because he had a spiritual opening. He was going in and out of him. So, like if it's something that's got full control, then you can, tie, bind, and break it in the name of Jesus Christ. Let me see. No, it was in Chuki's. There was another primo. It happened up here in Killeen. Oh wow. Oh, we're almost going to hit the 2 hour marker, folks. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better, but I still need to get a little bit more rest. Hopefully tomorrow or later on tonight. No, I can still talk a little bit more. Yeah, I've seen it happen numerous times where there's unclean spirits enter the people and they change demeanor, they act different. Oh, love cat. Well, yeah, in the sense of a way, that's the way the gen works. The same way as when something enters a person. One of the openings that I believe that the gen, since we're talking about it, that he used in combat when I was in combat, the opening he used was fear. Because I know when the soldiers that were facing the front lines were seeing all the burning tanks around them, dead bodies around them, and they seen us rolling towards them, the fear was there. Uh, if fear was there, then the Gen or the Reapers and all that, when it comes down to the balance, is a battle between good and evil. I believe a lot of those things were there too, waiting to collect souls. So the Gen, I witnessed it. Uh, it's, we were going forward. They told us to keep on going forward, and I witnessed the Gen where it was like dark, like smoke, but it wasn't rising like the rest of the smoke was. I was a driver and I was looking. I was like, how come everything, all the smoke is going up except that spot is still staying in the same spot? So I do the sign of the cross and I start praying the Our Father, you know. Then I seen it fly across the battlefield, like flying sideways. And it goes into one of the Medina Republic Guard guys. It's got a white flag surrendering. It enters him. As it enters him, uh, he drops the white flag, picks up the weapon, and he's fixing his AK-47, and he's starting to shoot, and he gets killed. His body drops. Then the Gen jumps out of that person and glides into the next person that has the white flag. All the guys that were just trying to surrender. So it goes from person to person per person till all the people are dead. Uh, that's what it did to them, and I think the opening was fear. They had the white flag to surrender, so why would they even? They know. I mean, what is a bullet going to do to a tank? It's not going to do nothing. But the Gen, I think it was fear, the spiritual opening there, fear, and I guess possibly I don't know if they summoned something. No, I don't know what they believe over there or whatever. But I know I'd already prayed before, and I prayed during combat. So I believe the prayers protected us from that unclean spirit. But when it's spiritual warfare, if they did call upon something like that to come and fight for them, but I call the Heavenly Father and He protected us, it has to go back to the sender. It's like, I don't know. All I know is all the people with the white flags that dropped their white flags to pick up a weapon, and they all died. And the Gen, you can kill a Degen, you can kill a DDN, you can kill something that's already dead in spirit. That's why when I hear the stories of people saying that they killed a dog man, they killed a Bigfoot, that they killed this, they killed that, to me is or they killed the giant of Gondor. I think it's a lie, because you can't kill something that's already dead, that's in spirit. But the only thing you can do spiritually is fight it spiritually. Tie, bind, rebuke it through the name of Jesus Christ. But when somebody says that they kill something like that, in the flesh, but these things, like I said, there's no bodies of them that even exist. But if they manifest to look like something like that, well, you're still gonna ain't gonna kill it because it's just a manifestation, temporary manifestation of whether it's a Bigfoot, a dogman, whatever beastly form they decide to take. It's just a temporary manifestation. Doing cousin Gilbert. Yeah, and over there, the reason you can see the Degen, like I seen it, is because there's nothing there. It was all open space. There's no trees. There's no houses. It was in the desert. It's open, so you're able to see it. When I went back in '95, I was able to see them at nighttime, where they manifest around the burning pits, and you can see their silhouettes. There'll be a lot of them standing around the burning pits where we burn trash. And I'll be looking with a night vision. They have no heat signature. That when I'm looking at it like this with the naked eye, I'm able to see the silhouettes around guess around the location where we have burned the trash. You can still see their silhouettes, but they have no body heat because it just looks like a dark shadow figure. Okay. Well, yeah, over there, I don't think they're allowed to smoke weed or drugs or liquor. I think all those are punishable, like death, like Law Morgan says. They got pretty strict rules over there. No, I don't believe that there are flesh and blood. I don't believe that they're flesh and blood. I believe that there are more. Well, I've seen some things that it makes me question, but that's what they do. They make it look like the real. And once you believe of what you're seeing and you give it the power of belief, then it attacks you spiritually. Yeah, that's what I went through in Elmsgrove. I found out of what I was seeing that looked like a dogman or a lycanthrope or a werewolf. That I give a little bit of belief that it was real. Then they attacked me invisibly, unseen, in spirit, in which I had to fight spiritually to overcome them. There's no weapon that I would have had that would have been able to do anything. You see these guys with their roll up sleeves, rocking around with their sunglasses and hats and spears and saying they're going to be the first one to kill the dogman, and I laugh about it because I dealt with them, and there wasn't flesh and blood. I found out that they were demonic in nature. That's why I call them the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. The reason they can manifest is because they have demonic capabilities, because of the Watchers, the creators. Yeah, there's a lot of people, man, that that they've deceived a lot of people. They've deceived a lot of people. I was in the military 10 years. I trained in the woods, lived in the woods, lived in the desert, lived in all terrains and all weather. Didn't matter. It was cold. It was a hot, in ice in Germany below zero. I've been there. I've been in those extreme weathers. Whether it's extreme cold or extreme hot. Not once did I see a Bigfoot or any kind of cryptid out there. Minus the one that I was telling you earlier, didn't feel to me that it was an ugly spirit. They use fear. That's kind of like a succubus and an incubus, right? Energy vampires. They use fear through sleep paralysis. You're in a sleep paralysis mode, and you might not wake up. You're going in and out, in and out. They use fear, or they try to attack you sexually in your dreams. But the fear is one of them that they use. How would they attack you sexually? Because in the dream, you might not be with one. Like for a guy, in the dreams will be like many women. Most likely for the females, with dealing with the incubus, it will be many men. Like temptation and stuff. So that's an opening that they can attack you while you're sleeping. Yeah, but like energy vampires drain on your fear. The fear is a spiritual opening that they use to attack people. That's why I always tell people, for those who believe that they're real, put it to the spiritual test. And it's simple. If you see a Bigfoot, it's looking at you, looking at it, tie bind and rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. See what happens. Because if it vanishes in thin air, it disappears, and you're truly tie bind and rebuking it through the name of Jesus Christ and through faith, then you're going to know that it was nothing in the flesh. Because if it disappears, that means that it's more as an unclean spirit, and it's fleeing. It flees away from you when you type on and rebuke it through the name of Jesus Christ. Yeah, fear is the opening. So, like I was talking about earlier, that guy about the 4-1 missing cases, talking about the Bigfoot this, Bigfoot that. I don't buy it. I'm being honest with you, because there's so many ways that somebody can pass away out there they can get lost. Could be an accident. There's other kind of animals out there. A lot of his movies remind me of some of how should I say, think the closest thing that I've seen one time, but it's like in spirit form. It reminded me of the little, like the little alien, like from the Alien movie, the ones that come out of the thing and they jump and attach on your face. Uh, Imagine one of those trying to attach yourself onto your spine spiritually. It was something in that nature, that when you have a negative attachment on you, you're gonna eventually you're gonna have to face your fear and overcome it. Yeah. I hear from a lot of people. I have a friend that every time that he sees my show, he tells me Bigfoot's are real. They're over here where I live. I said, well, come and do a show with me. Show me your proof. Show me your evidence. Show me something to tell me that they're real. You know, like have a video or something. But he never sends me nothing. Yeah, I seen one time. It was at the apartment complex where I used to live, and it was on the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling. Uh, I could see the legs and everything, and it was up on the ceiling. And when I looked at it, I typed out rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. Next thing you know, it wasn't there no more. I guess the days of now, you know, it's kind of like I see the wrongdoings that people are doing, which is not cool, man. You know, how's people going to mislead people? Not say everything truthful. They know they're lying of something, and because they're trying to give Bigfoot death kills for kills that he didn't even do. People that might have died in a different manner. You know, how can you tell? How can you say that's Bigfoot? Not unless you're saying, not unless the person is saying and knows that the Bigfoot is a DDN, a demon. Now, doesn't know he's a demon because, you know, there's some people that are in those. It's like a false minister, false preachers, because they're doing other things or other practices. Yeah, you just got to be careful. That's all I'm saying is be careful what you're giving power to, brothers and sisters. I don't have nothing against nobody. It's not cool, man. Because I've heard of people here talk about DP guy, and they always say good things about him, you know. And then I seen this video that somebody posted. I think it was on Pure T, the news group, and I looked into it to see what it was about. In which, you know, he did put the guy did put out some valid points, but it seems like to me now that he just trying to target this guy, you know, more and more. You know, I guess it's competition or something to him or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's not cool, man. I mean, it's a difference what they do, you know, that they grab a story from here or and get information because they're looking it up and all this stuff. That's different. 'Cause things can change, and it's about who says it the better way, I guess. Who's saying it how it happened, or who's adding to the story, or who's taking away from the story. In which it's a legit point, you know. If you're gonna say something about something, at least be truthful about it. Because if you lie about it, the truth will show itself because people are gonna read your works and they're gonna look into it and they're like, wait a minute, what's up with this? They're gonna find the flaws. You know, I've been targeted in that way here on Spiritual and Cryptic Encounters. I've had some bad names called to me, but I don't worry about that. I just, you know, I wanted to continue to do the spiritual works that I do. You know, whether people want to associate with me, whether people they want to associate with me or not, you know, it's up to them. It just I got to stay focused on the works that I do here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and hopefully people can come to some kind of agreement. But because I've had people come at me in a negative way, I'm not worried about them. But I guess if you really nitpicked on individuals, I'm more sure there could be all kinds of flaws in a lot of people. Because I used to have a guy who used to come up on here, and he was always talking about that guy DP. He's talking about the Bigfoots in the mountains, they're killing the people and all this stuff. And I didn't agree with him. So, a guy used to have here on the show. He used to come on the show. So I don't agree with that. The reason I didn't agree with that because I've been out there. While I was in the military for about 10 years. I didn't agree with a lot of things. Because there's other ways that people can get lost and they can die because they have no food, no water. There's accidents and there's other kind of animals that are out there, but just gotta be. That's what I tell people: be careful of what you give power to. Maintain your heavenly love foundation and place Jesus Christ first, because He's the one that can guide you and direct you spiritually. Even though that I've been going through what I've been going through here, sick for about a week now, I still don't know how I managed to pull some of this lives I did last week. I was really feeling bad. Yeah, I just gotta say, man, I got nothing against nobody, and people are gonna write books, write your books, write, do your thing, man. I know maybe one day I'll write a book of something, surprise people. Maybe one day, I don't know. Sometimes you just got a lot of things. I stay busy and trying to stay active. I can't stay active when you're sick. I said I've been sick for about a week. And it's kind of like I don't like videos like that when people rag on somebody. Or I'm more sure that the guy is not a bad guy. It's just, but if he did do that, that's not cool. Not put everything not put everything how it went down. But then when you got people trying to come after you, or because they dislike you, they can they can lie about it. They can make something seem real by lying. So who are you going to believe? Leave it up to your judgment and follow your heart, because your heart will not guide you astray. Yeah, the Heavenly Father is awesome. Any dark areas, especially if your house is not blessed or cleansed, yeah, they'll hide in dark spaces, in the restrooms, in the closets, underneath the bed, picture frames, dolls, anything that's human form, anything they can hide in, they will. But that's why you cleanse the house. Do a cleansing of the house. Place heavenly spiritual crystals on the windows, on the doorways, on the closets, any passageway. You do those heavenly crosses, and Then you pray if there's a spirit or unclean spirit, whatever kind of spirit in the house. Tell him it's not welcome there. And take authority over it through the name of Jesus Christ. Tell it to leave. I don't know, man. I tried my best to do continue to do my show. All I know is that we're not supposed to quit in life. We're supposed to move on forward. The only thing I can say is let your own heart judge of what you uh, what you feel, what you see, with your spiritual good discernment. The Heavenly Father will guide you because you're like a beacon of light. He'll guide you, and through while He's trying to guide you spiritually, you might see things spiritually because you're going to have that spiritual discernment. Especially when you're happy and you have love in your heart, it's going to be at a high level. High level. I used to cleanse a lot of homes, and I'll get rid of the unclean spirits at my friend's house. There was a cemetery that was up the block, which there was a spirit of two little girls in those flower terraces from back in the day. They'll be playing on the swing set in the backyard. My son, the daughter would always play with them. And she was talking about her friends were coming over to play, and then I found out her friends were spirits of two little girls. And then my son was playing with her out there one day, and she seen the send them the spirits. So yeah, I still got a little bit of phlegm, just trying to hang in there, brothers and sisters. Is there any questions for me that anybody would like to ask? Imaginary friends. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night, folks. I'm getting a little bit tired. Still got this phlegm. I just want to say thank you for those that tuned in tonight. I know it was a little bit late. See what time I start tomorrow. Whoever wants to jump on or whatever is open mic night. Tonight I'll try to keep it at a 2 hour marker or 2 hour and a half, like we're doing right now. I wanna. The other thing I can say, everybody's trying to do their works, so I just let people do the works, however they do it, they do it. That's their works, what they're doing. Yeah, and for the people that want to target people and just to target them, nobody's perfect. Everybody's trying to do what they do it, doing it their own way. But when you target somebody and you're doing the same thing, same stories, but trying to give somebody a better reputation, but they've been doing doing this for a long time, you know, that's not right. That's not cool either. Uh, but that's the way life is, right? You're gonna have some people that are gonna like the works that you do. Then you're gonna have people that are gonna dislike you because you're doing your own thing and you're different than everybody else. You're not trying to follow suit to what everybody else is doing. Even like that, you know, when like me, I do my lives real late at nighttime just to stay out of people's ways, you know, because people get sensitive, you know. So I'm gonna do my show late at night. That's when I'm awake and just knock it out. That's the best time for me. But in saying that, brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you again for those that tuned into tonight. Basically, what I'm saying is people can point fingers at each other. People can agree to disagree. Uh, but when you're trying to give somebody, paint somebody and give them a bad reputation, because maybe, like, you know, that individual said, uh, keeping things, not being truthful about what it's saying. Well, that's how that guy works, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the guy, but I guess what he's trying to do is speak the truth, but at what cost? How come you just, without saying anything about anybody, just do your own works, do your own material? Because I know that the guy has been using some of that guy's footage or guy's material just to talk bad about him. That's not cool. The guy, that's not cool doing that. That's you can't if you have to find clout on people's work, what they write or what they do, you know, and you got to make fun of them just to try to gain your numbers up or whatever. No, that's just stupid, you know. Maybe the other people about clout must still follow that individual, but then you're going to lose a lot of viewership because you'd be talking about an individual that's got his own little fan base and stuff. He's already done whatever he's written or whatever. If people like him, you know, you just what's the reasoning of that? Why even talk about somebody? How about just do your own freaking work? Do your own thing. Why you have to talk about somebody? That's like childish games. But in saying that, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let y'all go now. Basically, what I'm saying is, why can we all just get along? Attend the Heavenly Love Foundation, brothers and sisters. Love, light, and blessings to everyone that's here, to your families. This is Brother Apesius, Sarcius, calling the night here on Spiritual and Didian Cryptid Encounters. Good night, everybody. God bless y'all. Peace out.